Hey, this is your sister Blondie, and we are talking about Unleash the Power Within with Tony Robbins. So, this topic is called Beautiful State. Now, you only have two states. Okay, you only have two states. You have a beautiful state and you have a suffering state. Think about that one. Sit with that for a second. You have a beautiful state and you have a suffering state. You have a high energy state and you have a low energy state. Think about that for a moment. Now, Tony, he put us through a little bit of an exercise, and I'll go through it briefly. So, step one, decide to live in a beautiful state. Decide. Think about that. You have the choice. You have the choice to live in a beautiful state. Now, step number two. Step number two is, what is your favorite flavor of suffering? If you want to live in a beautiful state, you need to think about that. What is your favorite flavor of suffering? I'll tell you what my favorite flavor of suffering is: frustration. Anger and frustration. All right, I am visually impaired. I was raised sighted. Frustration. Frustration is very, very high. Completing daily tasks. I'm pretty good at completing daily tasks on my own. But when things get moved on me, that moving things on a visually impaired person is so frustrating. And then the other one that is so incredibly frustrating, and you're not gonna like this, all right? You're not gonna like this, but you know what? Sighted people are frustrating. Okay, and I'm not. This isn't to pick on one or any people. It's frustrating. Because in my tiny little world, I'm either ignored, criticized, or told what to do. Do I look like a dog? Do I look like a dog? Okay, I didn't join the military to be taking orders, but that's literally how I'm treated. I'm ignored, criticized, or told what to do. Sighted people, they forget the golden rule. Treat people how you want to be treated. Treat people how you want to be treated. For some reason, it does not apply to visually impaired people. So, now that I've identified my favorite flavors of suffering, what am I going to do about it? Okay, first of all, I need to identify what triggers me. Because once we can identify what triggers you or me, then we can do something about it. When we identify the triggers, we can do something about it. And then we can start making changes. Okay? Again, I'm visually impaired. Putting things away is very important. Telling people, please do not move things on me or it doesn't work. And then as, just socializing, identifying the people that are just, they're going to treat, I have no control over people. All right? I have to understand I have no control over how other people are going to treat me. And I need to let it go. And if I can, avoid the situation. That's really what it is. I have to realize, what do I have control over? I have control over me. I don't have control over other people. If I'm going to sit in a room for 2 hours and be ignored, then hopefully, I'll go to my room if it's place I live in, or maybe I'll take an Uber, or I'll just sit and I'll space off and I'll think about the trees and the flowers and nature or whatever. Like, I'm not going to let other people's treatment of me affect my state of mind. That is done, that is over. It is a decision. It is a decision that I have made. I am not letting other people affect my state. Even though I am treated very poorly, like, that's a decision I've made. It's over. It's done. It's not happening anymore. Now here's the last thing that Tony mentioned is when you are breaking a pattern, you need to replace it with something. Okay, that is key. Like Tony Robbins, he mentions, well, I don't even know if I can mention it on this platform, but he uses a few different examples. If you're trying to break a pattern, all right, so I'll use a healthy one, not healthy, but not non-toxic. He was talking about a CD. A CD, a pattern is burned into a CD. If you, then again, I'm talking about to Zennials and Alphas. Hopefully you know what a CD is. Or DVD. Anyways, a pattern is burnt onto that. So if you want to break that pattern, what do you got to do? You got to scratch that CD. If you want that CD to never run again, you need to scratch it. And then you need to replace it with something. What are you going to replace it with? Now, for me, frustration, breathe. Okay? That is what I'm replacing. I'm just going to breathe. Accept what is and breathe. Because as long as I can stay in a beautiful state, I have more options. That's what I keep reminding myself. As long as I stay in a beautiful state, I have more options. When I go into a suffering state, I have less options. And let's be real, we like our options, right? We like options. So as long as I can stay in a beautiful state, I have more options. So it's very key for me to stay in a beautiful state. And one ways I do that is breathe. Just take a breath. Take a pause. And that's also another thing he talks about is the 90-second rule. Just take 90 seconds and just breathe. Breathe through it. Because seasons change. No matter what you're going through. No matter what you're going through in life, seasons change. Think about the solar system. You got spring, summer, fall, winter. Winter doesn't last forever. It seems like it. Okay, it seems like winter lasts forever, but trust me, winter doesn't last forever.